Oh, welcome, beautiful people, to another installment of Gentle Yoga. And today we're going to work with the idea of finding safe space, that it's our responsibility to have our own safe space that we can go to at all times when maybe the rest of the world doesn't feel so safe, or maybe you're just feeling a little tender and vulnerable in any given moment and you need just a space to pop into, to check in, to reset, recalibrate. And so we're going to really work with finding that space today and working with yoga poses that will help you close off and feel vulnerable, but also then finding that balance of then opening back up once you've established that sense of safety. So I think we've got a really nice, lovely flow. And beginning by finding a comfortable seated position, whether that is on the earth or on a chair, but wherever it is, really rooting down through the sits bones. So the bony part of the butt, if you move the fleshy part of the butt out of the way, those sits bones, find that firm connection. Because that connection, that sense of grounding is so closely linked to the sense of safety. So let's root down, ground down into that connection, that strength and source from Mother Earth. And then inhale, fire up the bellies of the abdomen to lift and lengthen you tall through the crown of the head, sort of tucking that belly button in and back a little bit, giving you a strong foundation to lift and rise to the crown of the head, bringing the hands to rest comfortably on the thighs, then taking a big deep breath in through the nose and out through the nose. Soften those shoulders down the back body, and then allow the eyelids to soften or close, shutting off that external experience and beginning the journey inward. Beginning to bring your awareness to the breath in through the nose and out through the nose. Not with any real purpose here other than just to observe where you are starting your practice from. To connect to the breath that will serve as your guide for the rest of this practice. And beginning to elongate that exhale until it is twice as long as the inhale. And this breath right here is magic. This breath lets your body know that you are in a safe space. And it'll take you out of those involuntary reactions like fight or flight or freeze or fawn. And it will reconnect you, reground you into that certainty that you're safe. The muscles of the body can soften, starting with the brow, the jaw unhinged, the tongue softened into the bottom of the mouth. Using that next exhale to soften the shoulders. Then taking a moment to just see, is there anywhere else that you're holding tension? Are the palms softened and relaxed? And once you've physically entered this relaxed, this more softened state of being, then continuing the journey inward, and in your mind's eye, retreating to a safe space, something that's yours and yours alone. Perhaps a place you've been to, perhaps a place that you've only imagined or dreamed, the idea of what safety would feel like to you. Could be with a person you feel safe with, could be with animals or flowers, anywhere in the world. And just be in this place of safety. Getting to know it, touching everything around you. How do things smell? Is there wind moving your hair? Fragrant flowers nearby? Or hearing rain on the roof? Grounding yourself further into this reality of a safe haven by feeling into the experience with your senses. Taking a few more breaths here, breathing in through the nose and slowly exhaling back out the nose. When you're ready, say goodbye to this space, knowing that you can return to it at any point in time. And resting assured that we will return to it again in this practice and our time on the mat together. And then when you're ready, allowing the eyelids to flutter back open, returning back to each other in the practice, and inhale to bring the arms out side to side, following the palms with the gaze, and exhale to slide down to heart center, chin to chest. Inhale to come out and up. Exhale to slide down, returning to heart center, returning to home, returning to that safe haven. Inhale to come out and up, scooping up some security, some grounding energy, and then exhale, bring it right to that heart space so that it can be imbued with that energy and intention. Inhale, gathering up more of whatever that good juju was that's going to serve you here in this journey. And exhale to slide it down to heart center, bringing it back to source, back to home. One more time, inhale to come out and up. And exhale to slide it down to heart center. And next time you exhale, let those hands come all the way through to center to the thighs. And then roll one ear towards the shoulder. Inhale to come back to center. Exhale to roll the opposite ear towards the opposite shoulder. And continuing this little flow that is guided by your breath cycle. That big, deep inhale through the nose. And that nice, long, slow exhale back out of the nose. Finding the time to pause for the inhale. And before the exhale. Inhale, the next time you come to center, bring the gaze all the way to the sky, and the mouth may want to open up a bit here so that you can look right up. Pausing for a few breaths, opening up the neck here, working with that throat chakra so that you can give voice to those times where you're feeling vulnerable, needing to ask for safety, advocate for safety. Inhale to bring that head right back to center here. And then take a big deep breath in through the nose and exhale, twist and turn, looking out past that back shoulder, backhand pressing into the earth like a kickstand, enabling you to lengthen through the spine even more. And then exhale to twist and turn, looking out past that back shoulder. Pausing here for a few breaths. Each inhale, an opportunity to lift and lengthen through the crown. Each exhale, an opportunity to see if you can twist a little bit more. Taking this moment of pause. Knowing that so often what we need in times of overwhelm or stress is just a pause. That break to recalibrate. Inhale to come back through to center. Exhale to the other side. Breathing deep here. One more big breath into the nose here. And exhale to unravel, unwind, come back to center. If you're sitting on any props, you can scooch those right out of the way. And then roll forward onto hands and knees. And always, of course, stop to drink some water if you're thirsty. It's been a very hot day here, and I was out in the sun hiking all day, so I'm gonna take a little water break. All right, inhale all the way onto hands and knees here. Knees are stacked under hips, hands are under shoulders, and then tighten up the abdomen, pull that belly button up and in to create a nice flat back from the tip of the tailbone, extending all the way through the crown of the head. Gaze flat on the earth in front of you. Can be bring the tops of the feet to the earth, or you can tuck those toes under, whatever is going to work best for you. And from here, from your integrity and your strength, grounded and supported, inhale, drop the belly, open the heart, lift the gaze. Exhale to round the spine, tuck the chin into chest. Inhale to open. Exhale to round. This cat-cow gesture, the perfect embodiment of being out in the world, opening, being vulnerable. And that exhale to round, returning back to home, back to heart, to reground, restabilize before taking that next inhale and opening up out to the world. Feeling those shoulders sliding farther apart on that exhale and closer together on the inhale. One more breath cycle here. And then inhale to return to that nice flat back. Walk your hands up towards the front short edge of the mat and begin just to make some hip circles. They can be big circles, small circles. You can really bring a lot of movement, or you can keep them small. If you find an area that's really talking to you, right? A little creaky, a little sore, maybe a little sticky, try rocking back and forth in that area. Give it a little extra of your love and awareness and intention, and then continue on. The next time you inhale, reverse, going in the opposite direction here. Rounding and opening, honoring this body and all that it needs. And then the next time you come back to center here, take a big deep breath in. And then exhale, melt the forehead down towards the earth or a block. Slide those hands up a little bit more if you need to bring the hips up over the knees. And allow yourself to be vulnerable here. Melt into the pose while opening that heart space. Feel the opening. Breathing into that space that's created in the armpits and the chest. Working with this posture. Taking one more big breath cycle here. And then inhale, slide the hands back under the shoulders. Bring the left hand right in front of the face here. And begin to make some circles with the right arm. And just like those hip circles, whatever's going to feel good to you. If you're moving in a way and like you either A, like don't feel it, or B, feel it to the point where it's pain. I'm sure there's a lot of options beyond those two, right? Like just explore, feel into it, see what's going to feel good for your body in this moment. And then once you feel like you've gotten into a groove, you're like, yeah, I got this. That's the time to reverse. Start going in the opposite direction. All right, coming to the other side here. Right hand replaces left and turning and opening up in the opposite direction. Oh, and of course, remembering this is a safe space for sighs and moans, groans. This is your time to let it out. And then reverse, opposite direction. Returning back to that tabletop form once again. Inhale, lift the right hand all the way to the sky, and exhale, thread the needle, float the right arm under the left, bring that right shoulder down to the earth, hips to the sky. Left hand can stay as it is or walk it towards the front of your mat. Pausing here and breathing. Once again, finding the surrender in the vulnerability. And if it's too much to feel vulnerable here, if you can't open up to that, then returning to that safe space, knowing it is always, always there for you. Inhale, slide the left hand under the left shoulder again, pushing your way back up to tabletop. And then inhale, left hand to the sky. Exhale, dive all the way down to the earth here. Oh, finding that surrender, perhaps allowing the eyes to soften or close here. Breathing deep. Inhale, slide that right hand back under the right shoulder, pressing back up to tabletop. And then inhale, lift the left leg straight out, back and behind. Exhale, bend at the knee, bring the knee all the way up and through so that the left knee is by the left hand. The left foot is by the right thigh. We're making our way towards Kapotasana or pigeon. And if this is not available to you in your practice, then you can lie on your back and come to figure 4 pose, or you can do the figure 4 pose from a seated position in a chair. So now checking in and looking behind you. If that leg behind you is straight behind you, it means the hips are squared. If it's kind of like veering off to the left or the right, then pull the left hip back into the socket and the right hip forward. Imagining almost like there's scissors that you're trying to like close back together. And then next, you can slide that back leg back as far as you want to. Now the trick here is the farther back it is, the deeper the stretch is. So be kind and compassionate as we're working with this safe space, right? So safe space is definitely judgment-free. You have to listen to the needs in a safe space. So really taking the time to check in. And then exhale, melting your way down towards the earth. The forehead is going to come to either rest on the earth, arms, you could stack fist on fist, or you could bring a block in front of you. So taking the time to get cozy here so you can soften and surrender into the space here. Cultivating and creating safe space for you. knowing that is your power and sovereign right in this world. One more big deep breath here, in through the nose and out through the nose. And then inhale, coming up back to those palms here. Feeling that strength in the core and in the abdomen, keeping you upright as you then begin to tuck those back toes under, walk that back leg back up to that tabletop position. And then inhale to unravel that left leg. Bump the hips to the left, look over the left shoulder at the hips. Bump the hips to the right, look over the right shoulder at the hips. Do this a few times, bumping side to side like a pendulum. That perfect balance. And then bring the hips back to center here, returning back to that place of integrity and tabletop, our foundational posture for pigeon pose. And then inhale, lift the right leg straight out, back and behind. And then exhale, bend at the knee. Bring that knee through, placing it by the right hand, right foot by the left thigh, and then checking in with that back leg, making sure it's straight back and behind, and then sliding it back as far as you'd like to. Big deep breath in here and exhale. Slowly make your way down towards the earth. There's no rush. There's no right or wrong here. There just is the perfection of this moment and you in it. Feeling into that safety. Holding it gently and lovingly. Taking a few more deep breaths here, making sure that muscles of the body are softened. And inhale to bring your awareness back to the space. Gently make your way back up here. Curl those back toes under to slide that back leg up. Unraveling those legs. Bringing knees together, feet together, or feet together, knees the width edge of the mat. And exhale to melt back into your child's pose. Forehead to the earth or block or pillow. And taking this as another opportunity to return to that safe space. That space that is uniquely yours and yours alone. Inhale, slowly rise back up to that tabletop position here. Curl the toes under. And then pretty big moves for, our gentle addition here. But begin to lift the hips up and back, coming into a downward facing dog. You've got this. I believe in you. And just begin to paddle out the heels here. Here we go. Oh. Appreciating this view, this different perspective, perhaps looking out underneath each armpit. And then come to some stillness here for 5 breaths. So if your legs are straight and your heels are not on the earth, chances are you don't have a very flat back, right? You want the neck to be in alignment with the arms. As you can see here, for me, that doesn't exactly happen just because of the length of my muscles and tendons and all that jazz. But if you bend the knees, even just a little bit, you can get that nice flat back where the neck is in alignment with the arms, elbow creases are pressing out, shining in front of you. Shoulders are sliding down the back body here. Breathing for just a few breaths. And one more big breath in and exhale, bend at the knees. Slowly lower those knees back to the earth. Coming onto the tops of the feet here, knees together, feet together. And then curl the toes under, sit back on the heels. Inhale, open up the arms wide to wide here, wide to wide, side to side. That's what I meant. And exhale, give yourself a nice big hug. We're going to pause here for 9 seconds. So however many breaths that is for you, nice and slow, but long enough to release, I believe it's serotonin that's released from when you get a hug, and that you can even give yourself a hug and the same good stuff happens in your brain. Few more breaths here. And then inhale to open up side to side. Exhale, opposite arm on top this time. You can even walk those fingertips closer together on the back body and give yourself a nice, loving squeeze. Deep breaths here. You've got this. And then inhale, come forward onto the hands and tap out the tops of the feet. Tappity tap, tap, tap. Awesome. Inhale, stay bent at the knees and lift the torso taller here. And then what you're gonna do is imagining as if you're standing tall, right? Your head is over your heart is over your center. So that same alignment through the spine as if you're seated. But imagine that line of energy from the knees all the way up to the top of the head, soles of the feet flat on the earth. Exhale to melt the shoulders down the back body. Inhale, lift the arms right in front of you at shoulder height. And then exhale, rotate the palms out. Bring the hands back and behind, making a fist with both hands and pressing them into the small of the back here. Elbows pulling back behind you. Big breath in and dip back. Gaze lifted up towards the heavens, glutes engaged here, active, helping to support you and keep you safe. And keeping that connection to the breath. Inhale to slowly come back up right here. And exhale to uncurl those fists. Bring the hands to the thighs and sit back on the feet now. Once again, that same line of energy open through the torso, head over heart, heart over center. So keeping that nose from sneaking out in front a little bit. Big breath in and exhale to soften all the muscles of the body here. Bone is stacked on bone. So there's no need to like strain the muscles. Body can naturally support this pose. Inhale to lift the arms straight in front of you at shoulder height. And then exhale to rotate those palms out. Float the hands back and behind. Now, this can be a really nice place to have a strap if that's part of your yoga practice. And even if it's not, I highly recommend that everybody try props at different stages of their yogic journey, because even if you don't necessarily quote unquote need a prop, it will enhance your pose in a different way that you cannot do on your own. So it's worth bringing that mode of like inquiry and exploration to your yoga practice. Highly recommend it. So you could have a strap here. Sorry, got off on a tangent. Or you can interlace those fingers, pulling the hands back and behind, opening up that heart space once again, feeling the abdomen engaged here. And then exhale, begin to melt the torso over the thighs. Forehead comes to the earth. Arms lift up and overhead. Breathing deep here for 4 breaths as the forehead connects to the earth or a block. Oh, breathing deep here. Returning to that safe sanctuary, your bubble, your sacred space. And then inhale to slowly rise back up, engaging that abdomen until you're all the way upright. And then exhale, let those hands go, float them to the thigh and pause for a few moments here. Beautiful job. Inhale to bring those hands, the hips over to the side here. Bringing the soles of the feet flat to the earth, and then bringing the hands to the back of the thighs. Inhale, slide those shoulders closer together, open up your heart space, lift the gaze towards the heavens. Exhale, round the spine, tuck the chin into chest, shoulder blades slide farther apart. Creating a little flow here. Inhale to open. Exhale to round. Once again, tapping into the wisdom of these cat-cow or cat-dog movements, where we open our heart and let it shine out into the world. Or when we close off a bit, not always receptive to energy, but taking the time to rest and rejuvenate. Inhaling in through the nose and exhaling back out of the nose. And then inhale to come all the way to a nice flat back here, hands on the back of the thighs. And then coming up onto the tippy toes and beginning to lean back and lift the feet up. Now, anything here is a boat. It's all about your journey with this posture. Keeping in mind this is gentle yoga, right? So what does a gentle boat look like to you? Breathing deep here, tapping into the strength, right? Being able to provide yourself with sanctuary and respite. It requires strength. One more big breath in here, and then exhale, float the feet down, hug the arms around the knees, and bring the forehead to rest on the forearms for a few breath cycles here. Inhale to slowly roll on up and drop right back into that boat pose. So the most important thing here, however you're choosing to embody this pose, is the nice flat back. So from the tip of the tailbone, lifting and lengthening out through the crown of the head, that's what's most important. If I get to here and I start doing this, then I would want to come back to here, right? It's seeing how far you can go in this moment while maintaining like literal safety in your body, keeping everything in alignment. Less can be more, and more can be less. Yeah. One more big breath in here, and exhale, float it down around the spine. Hug those knees and take your rest. Inhale to slowly roll on up here, and then continue your journey until you are flat on your back, but soles of the feet stay where they are. All right, reaching down, see if you can just brush the heels of the feet here. Palms down on either side of the body, and we're gonna begin with a little flow here. So inhale, pressing into the feet, into the palms, into the shoulders, lift the hips up towards the sky. Exhale to slide it on down. A few more breaths here. Inhale to lift. Exhale to soften. One more time. Inhale to lift. Exhale to soften. And then this time, inhale, lift and pause. Really pressing into all four corners of the feet so that you're stacking bone on bone. It's, your leg bones are on top of your ankle bones, and that's providing the lift and the support so that the glute muscles aren't having to work too hard. So if you're feeling it all in here, only in here, press into those feet a little bit more and let them do the work for you. And then if you want, you can roll the shoulders under the back body, interlace the hands, and press into the earth with the palms, the arms, the shoulders, and the feet. Lifting the chin towards the chest towards the sky, and holding for, we'll say 2 more breath cycles here. We don't want to have to really sweat in this heat. Exhale to slowly lower the hips back down to the earth here. Walk the feet to be the width edges of the mat, and windshield wiper those legs side to side. Inhale to bring those knees back up to center. Walk the feet in towards each other. Bring the feet to touch, the soles of the feet to touch. Legs go out side to side, coming into a reclined cobbler's pose. This is that opening to the world, that being vulnerable. Hands can come to the inside of the inner thighs if you'd like to intensify the stretch a little more. You can play with where the feet are, like how far away they are from the pelvis, to see if you can find something that is maybe a little bit more cozy, or maybe you're looking for a bit more stretch. And then I want you to bring a hand to the belly, a hand to the heart. Breathe deep into this vulnerability, linking it to your sense of safety and your safe place. By going there now, giving yourself that respite, that break, building yourself up. A few more breaths here, imbuing this space with your intention and awareness, feeding it with the breath and with your thought, making it more real with each passing moment. And then inhale, bring those knees all the way up and overhead. Now walking the feet to be the width edge of the mat. Exhale, allow those knees to fall in towards each other. Hands can stay where they are. Eyes can soften or close. Tucking that tailbone just another inch or two forward to bring that small of the back flush with the earth here. And breathing deep. continuing to feed your sanctuary with the energy of your awareness, allowing it to become more real, more certain, more available to you in times of need. Inhaling in to bring your awareness back to the space around you. Knees come back up to center here, and inhale, hug the left knee into the chest. Extend the right leg straight out in front of you. You can stay at center here, hugging in that knee towards the chest, or even open it up to the left here, perhaps with just the left hand on it. Opening up to the side, bringing it closer to that left armpit. Extended foot is nice and active. Oh, and then bring that knee across the midline. Now the right hand holding on to it. Bending that left arm at a 90-degree angle. One-sided cactus. You can exhale, turn the gaze to look in the opposite direction of the knee here. Just a gentle, gentle twist. This release, letting go of what is no longer serving you, what is keeping you from that sense of safety. Inhale to come back to center. Extend that left leg out, bend the right knee, and hug it into the chest here. Breathing deep. Trusting that everything is as it should be. Inhale, option to open up that right leg towards that right shoulder. Breathing here. Breathing into that opening that's created, keeping that extended foot nice and active. Taking a big deep breath in through the nose and exhale, bring that leg over towards the other side of the body here. You can open up that right arm to a 90-degree angle, cactus arms, and turn to look towards it. Eyes can soften or close here. Give yourself a moment to just be here, to be with it, to be present. To get the most of this posture by allowing something to release and soften and surrender here. Knowing that the healing, the establishing of safety doesn't happen from rigidity, it happens from softness. Inhale to come all the way back to center. And exhale to extend both legs straight out. Inhale the arms up overhead here. And take a big deep breath, stretching from fingertip all the way down to the toes here. As if you're trying to see how stretched out you can get here. And exhale to soften. Inhale to once again stretch. And exhale to soften. Walk your feet towards the bottom right corner of your mat. Right hand grabs the left wrist and gently tugs the upper torso to the top corner edge of the mat. Pausing here and breathing. Breathing into that space that's created, breathing into the softness, and then landing into your safety. Exhale to release that grasp, returning back to center, and then exhale to journey on over to the other side. Left hand grabs right wrist and gently tugs you towards the left hand top corner. And once again, breathing, being, surrendering, softening, all of the things that will lead you on your journey to safety and security. Establishing the strength in your vulnerability. Inhale to return back to center. And coming into Shavasana here. Palms rotated up. Eyes softened or closed. Just being. Returning one more time to your sanctuary. Taking the time to notice something new. Some fine, ornate detail about your surroundings. And then when you're ready, you can say goodbye to this place, knowing that you can return to it whenever you need to. In moments of stress or duress, that this is a tool that you always have, because you always have your thoughts in your mind, and they're here to be in service to you and your needs. As you're ready, drifting off into your Shavasana. When you're ready, beginning to wiggle fingers and toes. And then making any final movements that feel good to you before moving from this position on your back. Maybe a deeper twist. Or just some wakey up stretches. You know what we're talking about. And then whatever you're doing, eventually making your way to rest in the fetal position on one side. Allowing those eyes to soften and close again if they opened. Oh, and taking those final moments of softening. When you're ready, with no rush, you can be here as long as you need to. Pushing up gently to make your way towards a comfortable seated position. That might mean getting a cushion or block or something to sit on. Sitting up nice and tall here. Taking a deep breath in through the nose and out through the nose. And inhaling the hands up to heart center. Closing our practice with, sorry, I'm gonna fly my face, with 3 ohms. Taking a big deep breath in. Om. Om. Last one big breath. Om. My wish for you on this day and every day that follows is peace of body, peace of heart, and peace of mind. Namaste, my friends. I will see you next time.